Take a seat, take a breath. Got a feed that decides life and death. Every chart is a mountain, a meme, a decree. Is this genius or mass lunacy? So where a frog with sunglasses screams we're early endlessly. Oh, see, bulls and bears and fantasy, every post's a prophecy. It's nothing made to be. If you want to read what passes for a master plan, simply click and flick your thumb across this broken land. Want to know which way the winds of crypto might just be? Oh, scroll me. One says up, only friends. Next says this is how it ends. Someone's calling the top, someone's buying the dip, someone's typing a thread as their last relationship slips. Scroll with me through the fear and ecstasy, where a chart in crayon gets 1,000 hearts for free. You'll see every hot take, every plea. I was right in 23. Trust the line, ignore the spreadsheet. If you want to gauge if hope or panic's in command, if they're building castles or just castles in the sand, want to test if we're all early or just fantasy? Slow with me. Is it signal? Is it noise? Are we traders? Are we toys? Every candle, every coin is a cult you can join. Go with me, let the chaos be our key. Read the mood like it's a map to some great mystery. You'll see faith and doubt in harmony. I'm all into, I'm set free.
In one day and one same tweet.
If you want to know if folks are brave or out of time, if they're quietly convicted or have simply lost their minds, then my friend, you found the perfect place to start this stream. So scroll with me.
G. Sorry. Just, that's the dumbest shit I've ever done. G scroll. Good morning, and G scroll to all who celebrate. We got Reed in the chat saying G scroll, my dude. G, tip of the hat. G scroll. Handshake to you. My guy, be like Reed. Say what's up in the comments. Say G School in the comments. And once again, G School to all who celebrate on this fine day, Tuesday, June 2nd, Anno Domini 2026. This is Scroll With Me, episode 159. We are only 11 episodes from victory, if you know what I'm saying. But my name is Dude Lifts, for those who haven't tuned in before. This is Scroll With Me. This is where you and I, it's a we proposition. We not that I know what a proposition is, like a in the grammatical sense, because school, but preposition, sorry. But we scroll the timeline together and we try to discern the vibes. We try to understand, what this is. We were monitoring the situations, plural, before monitoring the situations was monitoring the situations. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, I might be bad to have my first. That might have been the first sneeze ever on Scroll With Me. Did I mute the mic? No, because I wanted you to witness the raw power. Kuya saying G scroll to you, good sir. Tip of the hat, top of the morning, Benedict Cumberbatch. If you know, you know. But so, in the spirit of scrolling the timeline, shout out to Nikita Beer for doing for adding the Scroll With Me feature to Twitter yesterday, where you could Kuya, giving me blessings in the chat. Thank you. For those of you who are unaware, don't fact check me on this, but the meme or cultural norm, if you will, of saying bless you to someone sneezing is because back in the day, They thought that it was a demon leaving your body. And so they wanted to give you blessings. But yes, I should make a vibe prediction before we start to scroll the timeline today. Hyperliquid. Actually, it was kind of flat yesterday, which is hilarious, saying that like it's up like 2x in 2 weeks. But what else? What else is influencing the vibes? Dude, I mean, I think we'll probably get into it. You can see the tweet that's on the screen. I think my vibes are up. Are the global vibes up? I'm interested. I feel like these like degen mints on OpenSea have been cooling off a little bit. It seems like a lot of people were kind of waiting maybe for a moment to launch their collection. Some valid. I don't want to call like an artistic endeavor invalid, but like maybe it seemed like some artists had like sat on these collections for some time. We're waiting for the right time to launch and did so. But regardless, silence. Let us begin to scroll. So we're going to discover the vibes together. I'm honestly not even going to make a call. I'm not even going to make a call. We're going to figure it out together because this is group therapy. This is collective sociology. You get the vibes. We've got Crumbs here quoting the OpenSea article about why the Mondrian estate trusted Doodles with its legacy. Their visual language, the color, the energy, the playfulness sit so naturally alongside Mondrian's grids that it felt like a brand collaboration and more like a creative conversation that was always meant to happen. Bruh. Dude, I'm actually writing a tweet in my head from earlier. I just hadn't got a chance to write it down. So you guys are getting a preview of the tweet that I'm gonna quote tweet about this. So this is really tweetception. I'm reacting to tweets, telling you about a tweet that I'm gonna tweet shortly. And it is a tweet. So it's not a post. So sorry, Nikita. Maybe that's why Nikita, shout out bans me, because I refuse to recognize the merger of Twitter with X. But I think this really illustrates and read the article. It's fantastic. I've read the article. It still got my blood pumping, and one of the pieces I thought was so cool about this was the ability for Burnt Toast in the Doodles art style to reimagine an unfinished Mondrian piece. I was like, I mean, one of the first times that anybody has been able to reimagine Mondrian pieces at all officially with all of the pieces, much less this unfinished piece. I mean, just chef's kiss, phenomenal. But what I'm getting at, what I will tweet about is this to me was a fantastic illustration of, I think about this relatively often in my own personal life and whatever. There's essentially kind of like two ways to approach, let's call it life or whatnot. It's like force versus power. And I didn't make this up. I stole it from a book that I didn't read. It's force versus power. Force is like pushing, right? It's like you have to apply energy. You have a battery. You're a fucking hydraulic press. You're forcing the outcome or attempting to force the outcome of whatever the situation may be. And that is draining, right? That is finite. And then the opposite of that would be power, which means like drawing upon a well of power. And like the more you tap into it, the more power is available to you. That's how I think about my approach to Doodles is I'm not trying to force Doodles on anybody. I believe that there is power in Doodles, that there is intrinsic power within it. And I'm just the fucking herald clearing the way for it, if that makes sense. This is a great example of that. When people see the stuff that Doodles has done, they always kind of like, what? And sometimes it's like incomprehensible. They're like, what the fuck? How did Doodles become the first brand ever to reimagine Mondrian artwork? Like, how the fuck did that happen? Right? I think power, because it has power. It's not forced. There's narratives, there's things that are forced, and you can tell the difference between something with force and something with power. And so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hey, let's go. And a GM. Look at that toaster. Stablecoins meet checkout. I mean, checkout.com is a great name. Oh, we got Waco here with the nude face doodles. Zora, product update. Something is coming. Zora, we've seen you tweeting. We've seen you tweeting more than you have been. Last time you did some shit like this, you launched the thing on Solana, which isn't bad. I'm just saying. Better be good. Don't fuck this one up. No, I mean, I love the Zora team. I think they're super culturally tapped in. And so, once again, funny enough, ironically, and maybe I'll just start saying this for everything. And I don't want to cheapen my own stance here. But Zora is an interesting one in the sense that, like, I don't know if it's force versus power. That's an interesting one because it's like, to me, I feels like there's something true in what Zora is doing, and but maybe they've tried to force it too much. I don't know, but I think it's still around because it has power. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting way too fucking metaphysical here. Then let's keep going. Oh, Bitcoin at 68,000. Waiting for much lower. What? All right, we're gonna ignore that. Okay. Let's see. Jack Appleby says, you know what my favorite part of this is? All the horrible cesspool Twitter randos won't ever use it because then they have to show their faces with their absurd takes. I love this as a big swing for Twitter, though. Yeah. Dude, I've literally done this process. I don't think for tweets, maybe for tweets, though, specifically, where I have to screen record me looking at a tweet or like scrolling, maybe reviewing an app or something like that. And then I have to go record myself separately reacting to it. It's obviously not as good as the original reaction because it's not the initial kind of moment. And maybe that's the kind of magic here, is like capturing that moment of magic, is that first real reaction. I think intuitively, I'm getting way metaphysical here with today's episode, but I think intuitively we know if it's not the first reaction, right? We can see it in your eyes. And maybe that's why Scroll With Me is so magical, And so I think the ability, and I think it reduces the barrier to entry for content creation. I think overthinking kills a lot of content. And so if I could just go see that thing and I go, react, and then post it, that's a win. So feel free to clip that, Nikita, as far as how this feature works. If you're an NFT collector and I don't follow you, let's change it. Let's keep going here. Dude, Gary V says cards are fun. Cards are fun, but yeah. I actually have a VFriends card. I got to track that down because I was actually sent it by the VFriends team. It was really cool. Who wants to join the best team in the game? Dude, shout out to BZ. It seems like they're hiring someone. People in the field should go apply there, honestly. BZ has been a team that I've been impressed with for a long time. I've worked with them for years at this point. I'm big fans of them, for a long time. And they, I don't mean to say this in a way that minimizes other people's efforts, but they've done it, quote unquote, like the right way. They don't cut corners. They really are long-term thinking, as evidenced by they pay the premium to vault all of their cards at Brinks. They could easily not do that. The market doesn't seem to care. You know what I mean? Like, the market doesn't even care if you have the cards at all in your possession, apparently. But they continue to do it the BZ way, which I think is great. If you don't want to get skipped in line, why don't you just buy a real ape? Dude, the apes. Two funny things that it's like, Figgy made the fatal mistake of saying a number on the internet. Like he's like, yeah, like you're just talking. He's like, yeah, if you just, let's say if you held a mutant for 5 years, maybe they'd be equivalent to owning an ape, for a week or something like that. And the apes are like, oh my God, how could you disrespect me? Oh my God, how could you slight this community? We've been here. I've hosted events, bro. Like, it was like, and he was like, hey, I was just giving an example, So good times there. And then another interesting bit of drama, I feel like I'm on my Keemstar shit here a little bit, was there was an ape who entered the community, maybe you call it a week or two ago, because he was gifted an ape by Ben.eth, now known as LOL.eth, I think is the context. And he wasn't well received. And like he, was butthurt about it. And then, Figgy gets on a call with him and they talk it through and he makes a tweet about it, whatever. And I mean, could not have written this better. Literally tweets this morning like, "Hey, I'm thinking about auctioning off my ape for a bunch of tickets, 0.1 ETH per ticket, like just a fucking raffle scam, like something you would do on like a Rolex on fucking Instagram." And everyone in the comments is like, "Bro, what the actual fuck?" Like, dude, you just could not have written a better script. Gets the entire community divided on like, should we welcome this guy? Gets some fucking CEO on the phone. Then not a week later, just goes like, I think I'm gonna sell this motherfucker. Ah, things we love to see. Things we love to see. Ah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if we're making it interesting, Vitalik talking about synthetic stablecoin, things we love to see, and Domain Shane absolutely bag working his domains out here. Yes. Love it. Love it. OSF playing some golf. Things we love to see. Okay, this is super cool. So Jupiter just announced this. So they say the $10 billion TCG market just gained access to on-chain credit. Yeah, this is really cool. So feel free to check this out. Essentially, this boils down to you can borrow against your on-chain cards, which is like every step that we add more. I'm trying to think of the way to put it. Financial tooling to on-chain cards separates them from their off-chain components, if that makes sense. Like gives more and more reason to put them on chain, to go through the trouble of tokenizing them and keep them on chain. And so that I think that's really cool that it's like soaking up all that card liquidity, if you will. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's see. The Miracle says, so the Miracle, they run the rewards tab inside MetaMask. 700,000 users reached since we integrated inside MetaMask. For the first time, brands can run tailored campaigns directly inside the world's largest non-custodial crypto wallet. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, this is super cool. And people could have gotten 100 Doodles AI credits in the MetaMask wallet. We've got Monty in the chat saying read, and we've got Maria in the chat saying G scroll. So G scroll and G read to all who celebrate. Honestly, GM to read because his GMs are some of the best. Some of the best. Let's keep going here. All right, let's wow. NFT-Fi is winding down. Wow. Okay. Did not see that coming because to me it seemed like a minimal kind of maintenance product. But I guess for some reason, and maybe who knows exactly what it is, looks like they're winding things down, which really consolidates the NFT lending market to Gandhi, basically. So yeah, basically shout out to Cyrus capturing some of the $30 million of NFT interest per year, and shout out to Gandhi. So very cool. I wonder if Gandhi will get in on the TCG lending thing because I don't think they do any Solana stuff, but interesting. Oh my. Did this dude make the Dragon Ball Z dragon inside Nifty Island? What the actual fuck? That's ridiculous. I wonder if you could use like Claude. I was about to say, what if you use Claude? These are Nifty Islands? You've got to be shitting me. Wow. Okay. That's cool. Let's give a little refresh on the timeline. We got a few minutes left to scroll. AI companies, calm down, guys. The AIs won't replace our jobs, but robots will. Dude, this is the worst. Stupid. ATP Bitcoin be moving like a meme coin. If this is peak manipulation, then what? Yeah, it's manipulation. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Okay, so we've got Mentor here from Call. She says, explains why prediction markets beat every expert institution in a poll at forecasting the future. It's funny. I was talking. What is Monty says, let's start a segment. What's on the wall, starting with the Air Max show and tell. Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, this is the let me see. This guy. This is the Artifact. I think it's a dunk. I'm not a huge Nike guy. I'm more of an Adidas guy. Now I'm more of a well, never mind. That's gonna sound so douchey. But yeah, Incredible sneaker. In this, I was kind of like a Yeezy guy. I was all this other stuff, and so like I actually found out this shoe taught me what crease guards are because I put them on for the first time and I kind of like stepped and I was like, what is happening to the shoes? And then I was like, I used to be a counselor for teenagers, and they would always tell me about their crease guards and their Jordans and their whatever Jordan ones or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck is that about? And I found out. And then I ordered some crease guards. So these jaunts guarded, crease guarded. But it makes it tough to want to wear them out because they just look so. Same with those. Same with these. These Adidas shoes. I almost wore them to Las Vegas. One, I have almost no white shoes whatsoever. I cannot. Dirty shoes, just like I can't do it. And there's no part of me that's like, oh, it's so clean, it's worth it. It's not. I can't do it. I'm like, drives me insane. So they are on my shelf. Reed added that they are the Nike Artifact Dunk Genesis OG edition. Bazinga. One of the parts I thought was so cool about that, and I think they were ahead of their time with those shoes, is that like you could 3D print parts and like attach them, and it was modular. And so I don't think that the technology was there, or like the distribution of 3D printing. There wasn't a lot of like AI generation of 3D printed assets, and so I think the timing. Now that just ignores the entire part about Artifact, but even just like conceptually for the shoe. But I was going to say this about the prediction markets. A lot of people, are kind of like, oh, like the prediction market hype, it's died down. But I think the narrative hype has died down, but the volumes are larger than ever. So I think that should tell you something about CT. But yeah, I mean, I have always thought that they would probably be better truth telling machines. I remember, and this is kind of, you could say that this is an extension of crypto being about, consensus and organization and whatever. When I was I think it was in elementary school, we were part of a network. I think it was called WeatherBug. It was a little bit of an experiment. So you had to put a weather vane up on the roof of your school. You could become part of this quote unquote decentralized or maybe distributed weather network. And the more nodes meant there was more accurate weather information. And it was awesome. It was super fun. It was like, there's a thing we did as a class. And so I think this, to me, in the same way that there's no world that like an NFT project like Doodles becomes like a worldwide household brand and the collectibles aren't more valuable and collectible. There's no world which that doesn't happen. And to me, there's no world maybe like for market efficiency, and I'm definitely LARPing here to some degree, but like there's no world where more people, let's use the weather as an example because there's weather markets. If like there's tons of money on the line, and there already is a lot of money in the weather kind of ecosystem, but like in the sense that like efficient markets come in here with a bunch of more participants, it's distributed and rewarded for accuracy. There's no world to me that like weather predictions don't become more accurate as a result. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought here. Apologize for the dog barking. She be doing that. Let's see here. Franklin Templeton times MoonPay. Hot dog. All right, let's see here. Ooh, Glyphs drops tomorrow exclusively on OpenSea. Hey, dude, shout out to Glyphs. Shout out to FDOT. It looks like really cool artwork. I'm excited to see it. Let's see here. What does M Dudas have to say here? Is it? I clicked in. All right, what does Mike Dudas have to say here? I'm confused why OpenSea is spending any time becoming the 100th best venue for trading perps, rather than making the absolute best venue for trading collectibles, which is clearly their DNA. They simply need better inventory, search, filtering, marketing, community. Both are very large, rapidly growing categories, and they have a clear right to own the latter due to their brand, customer base, market relationship, and C token airdrop as a carrot. To me, my understanding of the kind of OpenSea approach is that they're trying to be the best place to trade anything on chain. So that includes fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens. I've used the OpenSea mobile app, and it does that pretty well. And so I don't know, like to me, and I've tried the perps product, it's super simple. I liked using it, and it's cool to be able to see my perps position next to my fungible token positions, and then another tab over is my items, which are my digital collectibles. So it's essentially becoming a wallet. They use an embedded wallet, by the way. Like Um, I don't know. It probably will be the way that I interact mostly on chain, to be fair. I don't know what else to tell you. And the UX is good and it's mobile native. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, there could be an argument to be made of like, oh, they should, tap into their unfair advantage. I think they probably are. I don't know. It's incredibly nuanced conversation. And I am no expert in that. But I will say that with what they're building, it's essentially a on-chain super app slash wallet slash marketplace, and I think that it'll probably eat the market. Just a thought. Akio says, I can't believe they still never dropped the token ultimate carrot. Yeah, that I don't have a particularly strong opinion on that, to be honest. I know that it's timing token drops. I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's one of those things that like it's almost like every time they've missed it, everyone goes like, "Oh my gosh, how could you have done this? How could you have missed it?" And then like another better opportunity comes along. Like I don't know. I was talking with somebody yesterday. Can't remember if it was publicly or privately, but I think that the 2021 kind of NFT boom was preceded by a collectibles and stock market pump. I don't know the numbers, so please don't quote me. But my sense is like this stock market and this collectible pump outweighs that pump by orders of magnitude. Like just the fucking I think about I was talking with someone from Korea yesterday. That's what it was about. They were talking about the, SK high inks and the Samsung bonuses. I'm like, these motherfuckers are getting 500 grand a year as like chip, line workers. Like I'm like to think that one of those people aren't degenerate fucks and they're going to buy some NFTs. You know what I mean? Like I just think that this current market outside of crypto is so frothy. I'm like, it bubbles over. Like, it has to. Like, and I don't say that as cope. I say that as like, I think we're about to see some fucking insane shit on chain. But maybe I'm just a permeable. So how that relates to OpenSea, maybe they reactivate the millions of wallets of people who are trading NFTs and they come back and they say, oh shit, I can also trade meme coins. I can also trade, perps on here. What is a perp? I think they have a huge opportunity there. I know it probably goes against, everything that people say is from app development perspective of like, I, don't, I digress. And it's 9 a.m. So the vibes. It's time for me to go, but it's only Tuesday. The week is young, my friends. And so we'll be back tomorrow to scroll the timeline. And until next time, I'll see you in the timeline.